And I think we're live now. Yes, guys. Welcome to Box Football. Just want to make sure, Jack, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Sweet, 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 sweet. And I hope you guys can hear me. Welcome to Box Football. And yes, we're just reacting to the big news. Chelsea are in the Champions League final for the first time in 9 years after beating Real Madrid 2-0. And yes, it's official. We have another all English final, and probably one of the most boring all English finals, but we'll get to that. But Jack, let's just go and let's just talk about. So we got Sammy in the house. Sammy, I know you're gonna be so unhappy, but again, let me see what Sammy has to say.
Um, Vini, I assume that's Vinicius Junior as a wing back is just crazy, dude. I agree with you. I
Listen,
agree.
we'll get into all of that right now, Sammy. So Jack, what did your thoughts on the game?
Dude, Chelsea deserve to go through. I don't know what else to say. Like Real Madrid were not at it in that respect, and I'd like to say that yeah, Timo Werner. It's been a long road, but we're trying to see more of the best. And Kai Havertz, it's been a long road. We're seeing more of the best. Mason Mount kind of fulfilled, I think, what we expected of him to come at some point this season. In this game, he played really well. Yeah, Mason Mount has been fantastic. Christian Pulisic for me is borderline their best player, and he should be starting every game. I have no idea how he doesn't start every game. N'Golo Kante was absolutely everywhere, but I think Thomas Tuchel is the guy I want to give credit to. And what I mean is he's seen what the strength of this Chelsea team is, and he's put the foundation now in place for a Premier League campaign next year. Maybe a Champions League this year. Who saw that coming? I certainly didn't. They are a strong defensive team with with the best ball-winning midfielder in the world at this point. I mean, I know there are some other competitors up there, but N'Golo Kante is incredible. It's like having two players on the field with N'Golo Kante playing. He's incredible. And even in an attacking sense, he doesn't overthink it. N'Golo Kante wins the ball, lays the pass off, provides a bit of support. But yeah, it's a Thomas Tuchel win for me. And you know what, James, you and I have talked about this in the past. We can criticize Chelsea for being quick to fire managers all we want, but you are the one who I think said this to begin with. Whenever Chelsea do this, it yields results. If Chelsea make top four and win the Champions League, or even if they make top four and they come second in the Champions League, that's still a terrific season from where this Chelsea team were at certain points. Sorry, James, go back to Sammy. Yeah, Tuchel bossed it, dude. I agree. I totally agree. It was Tuchel's night. There were some outstanding Chelsea performers individually, but this is Thomas Tuchel, doing his bit to beat Zinedine Zidane in Zinedine Zidane's competition. So anyway.
Oh, listen. First of all, how do they always seem to do this, Jack? They sack a manager and just end up being successful.
Right.
It's like we spoke about it when they sacked Frank, and we were thinking like, okay, they sacked him. Sure, they're not going to do it again. I'm best believe they have.
Right.
Jack, I'm not a fan of Chelsea. Right.
No.
In fact, I despise them. I despise their fans. But goddamn, as a football club, I love everything that they stand for because they're about winning.
They're about winning, yeah.
The board up, and to me, it's not just the team winning. I'm talking about the women's team. They're in the Champions League final. Everyone forgets about that. Their academy, they dominate year in and year out. They produce amazing talent. They've only begun to use them now, but their academy is always the best team. Winning the FAU Cup, challenging in the Champions League. Chelsea's teams are always up there, and it's just the whole philosophy of the club. It's about winning. You can have freaking different ideologies of different managers coming and bringing in their own different style of play. But the philosophy of this football club and Chelsea Football Club is just to win, 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 win. And they're doing it now. If you ask a Chelsea fan around 10 games into the Premier League, 15 games in after the Leicester game, and you would have told them that you are going to be in the top four, right, in a Champions League final and in an FA Cup final, they would have said, what?
Thank you.
The next 10 years with this squad? But it just shows you what a new manager can like can do to a football club. And Tuchel just came in and he's taken over. He's bossed it. This is generally, in my opinion, Chelsea's best performance overall. This game against Real Madrid was not even close from start to finish. You know,
but I tell you what, it makes me look back on Frank's time, and I think Frank really wanted to try and build something in his own image, and he tried to put, what's the expression, square pegs into round holes, and just try and make it this kind of real Frank Lampard Chelsea. Whereas Tuchel's come in like any good manager, and he's gone, okay, here's what we're good at. Here's what we're going to work on, and what any good manager will do. And James, as a coach, you can speak to this maybe more than I can. You want to shine light on your strengths, and you want to kind of try and cover up your weaknesses. And that's all that Thomas Tuchel's come in and done. He's gone, hey guys, here's what we're good at, so let's do what we're good at. Now the things we're not so good at, we can work on that. And then if we keep our strength nice and high, and then we raise up our weaknesses, we've got a really good team coming here.
But for me, the maddest thing about Chelsea was that we looked at what they were going forward and said, okay, they're great going forward, but going backwards, they're not that great. Thomas Tuchel has came in and just shored up that whole backline that they don't look like conceding. Jack, did they ever really look like conceding today?
But James, I think that they were only bad defensively because of the stuff that Frank was trying to do. I think Chelsea have always been a good defensive team.
Live on YouTube.
Get Jed in the call. Why is Jed not in the call right now?
Jed is absolutely like, even Sammy's here right now. But I'll speak to you after, bro. Yeah, I'll get you live right now. Just
I can actually see the flames coming out of the phone right now.
He's saying some specific things right now, but
like James, think about this. Chelsea have always been a strong defensive team. You've got N'Golo Kante. You've got decent defenders. You've got fullbacks who, like, I think of it, Cesar Azpilicueta as the main standout for me, but you there have a fullback who can play as a right-sided centre-back in a 3, who is a solid defensive player. All they've done is they've just gone back to their basics, which are, hey, we actually are a good defensive team, and they've just let the attack have the freedom.
Yeah, but Jack, I also remember last year, especially the game against Arsenal in FA Cup final, where Rudiger and Christensen didn't cover themselves in light, and Chelsea were trying to ship them both out. Rudiger was not in this Chelsea team at all. There is a reason why they brought in a 37-year-old Thiago Silva, because defensively they were not at that. Defensively they were just not at that level. But now a manager's came in and given confidence to players like Christensen, Rudiger, who, if you actually are Chelsea fans, he was like their Bambi on ice. But right now, he's moving like a Paolo Maldini. Everything is like a shirt. And him wearing that mask today and made him feel like LeBron. I don't know what was going on. He dominated, like he don't dominate from start to finish. But just like the confidence that like he's given this Chelsea team, and just the stability. The first thing that you want to do as a football team is to stop opposition from scoring and conceding chances. And the fact of the matter is, they're doing that. And like another thing I want to point out is the goalkeeper, Benjamin Mendy. Let's be honest, Jack.
Edward Mendy.
There's just so many Mendys. It's actually ridiculous.
Dude, I know.
But Edward Mendy, he, to me, if you're being honest, Chelsea fans, he isn't their main man. And they never felt that he was going to be their main man. They were looking for something, maybe a Donnarumma.
He papers over the cracks of, like, Kepa Arrizabalaga is the worst goalkeeper in Premier League history. Like, I cannot state that enough. Worst signing in Premier League history, worst goalkeeper in Premier League history. Like, not even close. All they wanted.
We're going to do a video on that.
But all they wanted was a guy to come in and just paper over the cracks that Kepa had kind of created, and he's come in and done that, and you've got to give credit to the guy. But
do you not feel like he's coming right now, not only paper over the cracks, but he seems like a guy that's going to be Chelsea's number one for a few years to come? Because
James, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, you've got to be honest there. Like, I totally agree with you. He made some pretty killer saves. I mean, that Benzema save was nice. I mean, nice height for him. I know that's a bit of a cliche, Sammy's asking, where's Jed? Hey, dude, I agree with you. Where is
crying, Sammy? I'm not even gonna lie. He is crying. Like,
And let's be clear. Let's make a point here on Real Madrid because I do think this is important.
Do you know what it is? We're gonna get onto Real
Okay,
Madrid.
we'll still talk about Chelsea. All right.
I want to still talk about Chelsea. And the first thing I seen at the start of the whole game was when the starting lineup came out. Real Madrid fans were more confident, and Chelsea fans lost the confidence because the fact of the matter is people not seeing Christian Pulisic,
Ramos and Hazard.
Hazard,
literally,
Pulisic
right.
not starting. You're thinking, ooh, Tuchel's probably got this wrong here. But I think the way Tuchel played it out was brilliant. He, as soon as it got to that 60th minute, that Real Madrid team, they were off their feet. They were done. And then bringing in a player like Christian Pulisic, who does run up players, who is more direct.
Very talented,
It killed them even more. And again, if it wasn't for poor finishing, it should have been 5 or 6.
Well, this is the classic, isn't it? How often do we see a team not take their chances and then it comes back and bites them in the arse at some point, right?
Jack, I felt Chelsea had so much control. The amount of chances that they were missing. Usually, you think, Real Madrid might nick it back, like what happened in 2009 against Barcelona. But as time went on, you didn't ever feel the Real Madrid were going to create anything because this isn't an Eden Hazard who is blistering and who's playing some of his best football. He's coming back from injuries. He's not fully fit. Benzema's been in and out. Ramos just came back for the.
Ramos hasn't played in 7 games or 7 weeks or something like that.
He's been out for a while with COVID.
So this is the thing. I almost think that there was a certain naivety is the wrong word, but I'm struggling for the word. But there was a certain level of Zidane was just going. I know what that name is. I'm just going to put that in the team sheet. And it's maybe it would have been better if you had done Militao and Nacho as centre-back together and just had Ramos come and be on the bench because he wasn't up to it totally.
I mean, I want to get on to Real Madrid, but I just want to still stick on Chelsea and how great they've been overall. N'Golo Kante, Jack.
Unreal. One of his best matches I've ever seen.
No, Jack, but you know what it is? He delivers this all the time. N'Golo Kante, when we generally talk about big game players, you would struggle to find a better big game player than like this guy. Because I generally can't think of a bad game that he's had on a big stage. And listen, I might not be a big Chelsea fan, but the one player who I would love to see win the Champions League and actually deserves to win it is N'Golo Kante.
But you know he's going to hold it up last and he's going to be a bit shy and a bit embarrassed. That's his character. But I tell you why he's so good. Because it's not about how your touch is on the day or how you finish.
In these times, guys, obviously keep the comments in. You see, we're giving Sammy a shout out. If you're watching, keep the comments in. Let us know what you feel about this game. Comment down below, please, guys.
But with Kante, it's work rate. Kante could miss a tackle. Kante could miss an interception. But because of that drive and because of that work rate, the next one, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. It's not like the striker can miss a shot and then that can kind of really kill their confidence and they can feel a bit, this way or this way. Because of Kante's just relentless work rate within that role. I mean, James, I'm not trying to make this into a bigger discussion right now, but for the role that N'Golo Kante fills for Leicester and now obviously for Chelsea, can you think of a better player who fulfills that role in the history of football?
So guys, we done our greatest midfielder of all time, and N'Golo Kante genuinely, in his actual role, is perhaps the best we've ever seen. For what he does, he is up there. Again, that's coming out soon. It might drop tomorrow.
But James, calling him a ball winner almost feels disrespectful because he's so much more.
Jack, not only this, when he wins the ball back, it's his ability not to look backwards. He drives the ball forward and then gives the players a chance to score. Like we've seen that for the big chance for was it the Timo Werner?
Yeah, I think it was Werner.
He was the one that won the ball back, played the ball into Kai Havertz, and then they nearly scored. But he does that every single time. It's not just that he wins it and it's backwards. No, he's winning it and he's driving forward. And if you ask Chelsea what's their greatest signing, he should definitely be in the top 10 ranking of their greatest signing because wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Frank Lampard, and then maybe you got Kante next. Like that's
oh, you
probably
got
where it's
Eden
gonna go.
Hazard, Didier Drogba. We can we can get into that, but my goodness, who else? Mason Mount today. I felt like he ran out of steam as the game went on, but if you're Gareth
He's
Southgate, Jack, you got a
dude.
lot to do this summer.
He's so difficult to dislike. Like he's so difficult to dislike. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're a Spurs fan, anything like that, every single rivalry, there's always one or two players in that rival team where you go, oh damn, they're really cool. I'd love them to play for my team. And Mason Mount is one of those guys. Like I just don't understand how you can think about this kid who's just living his dream and he's not there because of nepotism or because of like, oh, we have to play him for the hype purpose. Like he deserves to be there. He's Chelsea's best player. He's Chelsea's best player.
Jack, he was off his feet, and usually at that time you take that player off, but because he's so important to the Chelsea team, he stayed on and like he scored the goal. For me, with Mason Mount, he can do a bit of everything. If you want him to sit and be a bit disciplined and like defensive, he can do that. If you want to drift out wide and play as a wide player, he can do that. If you want to play as a number 10, he can do that. If you want to go box to box, he can do that. He has a bit of everything that you want. And he's that typical all-round English player, you know, that isn't great at just one thing, but does a lot of things really, really well.
Right. Yeah, no. He's been absolutely immense. And I think he's a starter for that England team. I think Gareth Southgate would be absolutely crazy not to start him.
Like you feel for it because if you don't start him, there's going to generally be a war. And now you have Mason Mount, you got Jack Grealish. You got we can get into that whole England thing, but let's touch on Real Madrid. Champions League semi-final. I understand that they've been to the mountain 4 of the last 5 years previously, dominated the competition, but my goodness, we can talk about the formation, but the overall tempo and overall desire, it just didn't seem to be there, Jack.
But what I would say is, and I'm interested to see what Sammy or any other Real Madrid fans have to say on this, but what were the expectations for this Real Madrid team? Seriously, and let me finish here. Let me finish because. Okay, you got Thibaut Courtois. Has Thibaut Courtois ever been really regarded in the upper echelons of the world best? I'm not so sure.
Yes. He was voted as the best goalkeeper in the world, 2 years ago?
That wouldn't have been my vote, but I'm just saying, I don't know if I've ever regarded Thibaut Courtois up there with the Neuers, the Oblaks, the De Geas over the past, 5-10 years or whatever it's been. Defensively, some guys who are kind of out of contract, who've already won it all, may not have the motivation there. That aging midfield 3, who've yet again been there, done it. Where's their motivation nowadays? Karim Benzema is basically kind of carrying the front 3 at this point, especially seeing as you don't have the likes of, Ronaldo or Bale anymore. I think what we've actually seen.
He's right.
Okay, Sammy, no.
Jack, generally, he's been probably their best player.
No. That's fine, but Sammy's just said Thibaut is the best goalkeeper in the world for me, and that's wrong. You're wrong. There's no way I'm having that. But anyway,
he's
the point being...
He's definitely top 5.
He might make top 10 if he's lucky. But anyway, the point is, this Real Madrid team kind of lucky to be where they're at this year. At this point, I would say in La Liga, this is not that Real Madrid team of old that we remember. To be in a Champions League semi-final, I would say that they've been not lucky, but I would say fortunate to get here. The levels to where they were and to where they are now are totally different. Now, the summer's coming up, and Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, a couple of signings here and there, Paul Pogba, whatever, then we could see that Real Madrid where we go, they have to be in the final every year. They have to be challenging for La Liga every year, all that kind of stuff. But where the team sits right now, I don't think they can be too mad at Champions League semi-final and still in the race for La Liga. I don't know about how you feel.
I feel like Real Madrid historically have always been a winning team. So regardless of what team that they have, if they're in this position, they want to win. Regardless of if it's a bad Real Madrid team or a good Real Madrid team, they want to win. But a bad Real Madrid team to me is still a semi-final or third place, second place in La Liga. But just overall this season, I watch Real Madrid, and a lot of times I watch them amble through games. They just don't seem to be the same side that we remember with Ronaldo doing like being at his absolute best. And for them to reach this point, it's obviously a bit of success, but the performance overall, I'm just thinking that it looked like a team that just completely ran out of steam and just not at that level anymore. Like Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, we know how great they've been in past years. They've done well to get to this point, but you've seen what happened when a team who just adds a bit of energy to them. Because let's be honest, Chelsea don't have a better midfield than Real Madrid, but they worked harder than them today. They outworked
I
Real
don't
Madrid.
know. Do you think so?
I genuinely think too.
Like, I think if you're talking about Jorginho, Mason Mount, and N'Golo Kante, I'd say at this point it's right up there with those three at Real Madrid. I mean, those three Real Madrid guys, obviously, however many years back, the 3P, like obviously nobody's touching them. But right now, Kante, Mount, Jorginho, that's closer than I think people would think. You know. I'm sorry, Sammy, bro. Ask any La Liga expert like Sid Lowe or Guillaume Balaguer; they will tell you he's the best keeper in the league and arguably in Europe. Well, I will respectfully disagree with them.
I wouldn't say he's the best goal. I feel like he's probably third behind Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. I feel he's the best.
Black.
Like all black. To me, he's the best goalkeeper in the world. Then Ter Stegen. Then
Hey man, Manuel Neuer still plays football. Edison, Alisson, there's some players out there.
I'm just talking about in La Liga again in the summer. Okay. Again, bringing back Odegaard. I want to keep Odegaard. So Sammy, we're going to keep Odegaard if you don't mind.
Sammy, well, hey, where's our guy at Inter Milan when you need him, right? Where's Achraf Hakimi? That wasn't a smart sale.
Regulon maybe, and then this Mbappe thing. Who does Mbappe really want to go to Real Madrid at this moment of time? Do you really think
That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do. I agree. Somebody's got to fill those shoes.
You do know that there's strong links that Varane wants to leave Real Madrid, and I think he's made it clear that like he kind of wants to seek a new challenge. So that might be something. Why?
Sammy, would you take Koundé from Sevilla? Out of curiosity, I'll just let that kind of fester in the background. Would you take Koundé from Sevilla?
Well, like just overall looking at the game, this three at the back Real Madrid. Jack, did you actually know what type of formation that they were playing? Because I generally had no clue. Because it looked like it was three at the back, but then on the ball it looked like a 4-4-2. But I wasn't sure what role Vinicius was taking up because he was almost like a wing back, but really told that we wanted him to be as a winger. So it was a weird one because when he received the ball, he was receiving it quite deep, and I wasn't really sure what it was. Do
you think he was prepared for Reece James? That was one thing that I thought of. Do you think maybe the advice and the match prep was for Reece James and not for Cesar Azpilicueta? That's just one thing I thought of.
I don't think it really made that much of a difference who he came against, because I think Vinicius would back himself one-on-one against any defender in the world.
I mean defensively. I mean from that wing-back philosophy. Like obviously you're not too worried about Azpilicueta, whereas you are worried about Reece James.
Well, it was weird because he technically wasn't tracking back. He wasn't right. It to me, the way Real Madrid set up, it just wasn't. It didn't look right. It generally did not look right, like at all. We understand the three in the middle, but I wasn't sure what was going on with even Hazard and Benzema because I wasn't sure where Hazard was even playing because he was floating about, picking the ball here and there, but not really affecting the game. I think Sammy has right here.
So just quickly picking up on some of Sammy's messages here. PSG are a mess. They can't win a one-horse race, and Mbappe needs to leave. Hey, I agree with you. Neymar and Mbappe. I would like both of them to leave, but I think it will only be one of them.
We will be doing a Neymar video soon, so keep your eyes out for that.
Koundé over Alaba any day. Yeah, I think in terms of longevity, I agree with you. I'd say as of right now, I still think David Alaba is a better player than Koundé, but I think going forward, if you're getting rid of Sergio Ramos, Koundé can come in and do a serious job with a Varane or a Militao. Sammy, we need to play 4-3-3 with Nacho at right back until the end of the season to win La Liga. Hate the wing back formation. Hey, I totally agree with you. And Nacho, let's be clear, it's not going to be the same results as somebody like maybe Carvajal or whatever, but he's going to do enough that's required to have you win games. I agree with you.
if I'm being honest, I felt Zidane kind of complicated Real Madrid's whole formation. I think I was chatting to Jed before, and we were just saying center back pairing should have been Militao, Ramos,
Yes.
Mendy on the right, Nacho, and then just play the normal 4-3-3, three center mids, and then Hazard, Vinicius.
I don't know if I'd played Ramos. I really don't. I think I maybe would have.
No, but Jack,
Ramos.
the problem is was that what's it called again? Varane Varane's out for 3 weeks, so he kind of had no choice to play him.
No, but I would have done like maybe Nacho, Militao as the centre backs, and then Mendy and maybe some who's the kid Odriozola. I know he's not been brilliant, but I don't know if I would have trusted Ramos after not playing for 7 weeks. You bring him into the second leg away in the Champions League semi-final.
Like, again, you go by the name Sergio Ramos, Mr. Big Game. You really want to miss him out?
But but you bring him on at 70, 75, 80 minutes, right? And he scores a bicycle kick or something crazy like that. I don't think he's the guy to be there when he's out of practice for 2 months,
I'm pretty sure Nacho played right back in the Champions in 2008 final against Liverpool. So I don't know why it was this big change. But let's talk about the final.
Yeah.
So an all-English final, once again. Chelsea, Man City. Jack, how do you think this whole thing is going to shape up?
I think it's going to be all dependent on Pep Guardiola. And what I mean by that, and I think James knows what I'm about to say here, is Pep going to overcomplicate this? Is Pep going to try and do something, is he going to try and bluff and double bluff and do something crazy that he's never done before? Mm-hmm. Or is he going to send Man City out to do what Man City do and just win the game straight up? Because I think that if Man City and Pep go out and go, hey, we're Manchester City, this is how good we've been for the past, the last 2/3 of the season, and we're going to just do our thing, I don't think Chelsea will be able to cope with them. But if Pep tries to do some sort of mad, inverted fullback, inverted winger,
but Jack, he's done everything. But everything you mentioned, he's done this year. Everything that you didn't want Guardiola to do, he's done this year. He went for the inverted fullback. He's played the false nine throughout the whole season.
But that's fine. But in domestic competition, it's not the same. When was the last time Pep Guardiola won a Champions League? That's what scares me. Pep
Guardiola has also been in 15 finals, and he's won 14 of them.
Fine. But when was the last time he won a Champions League final? And that's where we're at now. This is the big one. This is case.
But Jack, he's 2 for 2 in Champions League finals.
That's fine. But do you not think Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Man City should have been to more Champions League finals than he's currently been to?
But Jack, I feel like what we
just
take
scares
for granted. What we take for granted is football is so unpredictable. Right. There is many different things that can happen that stops you from achieving where you want to be. The Champions League is only one tournament, and only one team can win it, and only 2 teams can make the final. Hence, Neymar, he's been on this treasure hunt to find the Champions League for God knows how long. Real Madrid, before they won 4 out of 5, it took them 15 years to get back to a Champions League final.
But what I'd say, James, is I think the reason largely why Pep has not been able to really get back to Champions League finals is because he has been the one who's tried to overcomplicate things. 9 times out of 10, Pep is manager of the better team. 99 times out of 100, I think if he just goes out, does his thing, I think Man City will win. It's only if I think he trips over his own feet that he'll give Chelsea the chance. And James, this Chelsea team, I don't know if you agree, but it reminds me of the last Chelsea team that won.
Jack, I hate to say it, but they're just giving me that feeling, Jack.
It's true, isn't it? It's true.
We like me and Jed did the prediction on the Champions League semi-final, and we were talking about how just these different outcomes that led to Chelsea winning the first one, and it's the same thing that's happening in this year with them now being in an FA Cup final. Arsenal winning a certain amount of games, them sacking them manager midway through the season, them playing a Spanish team in a semi-final. Again, it's just these weird different things that are outlining. And Jack, let's be honest, bar that one freak result against West Brom, Chelsea have been in control of every one of the games that they've played this year. Even against Man City. Man City, I know like they rested a few players, but even Chelsea rested a few players. This wasn't an all-out Chelsea team.
Correct me where I'm wrong, mate. 24 games, 18 clean sheets? Or am I wrong on that? I might be wrong on that, to be fair. But I'm pretty sure I saw that tweet. Like, Tuchel's not messing around, but I still think that City have enough quality and Pep has drilled them in the right ways to play the right way to break down a team that are so solid defensively.
But Jack, for me, everything that...
Just quickly here on Sammy. Pep is to blame for the Lyon and Spurs games, but at Bayern he lost to some serious teams like Prime, Messi, Suarez, Neymar, and Prime, Bale, Benzema, Cristiano. Yeah, no, hey, you're absolutely right. Like, yeah, he was not pushed over by nobodies. I agree with you. Sorry, Dan.
But also the Tottenham game. You must understand there's so many freak things. Sergio Aguero missing a penalty, VAR giving a handball that technically nowadays is definitely a handball for the Tottenham goal, and then having a goal ruled out for the offside. There's so many different things that you must look at. You know, the Champions League to me is a freak competition, and not always the best team goes ahead and wins it. There's so many different things that, to me, the Champions League is all the stars need to align for you to win it. And I just feel this year for Man City, it looks like the stars are aligning. But stars are aligning for both teams. Let's be honest. You know, they're like, if I'm being honest, if Man City don't win this Champions League, it will look like a failure. Sadly enough.
Huge failure.
You know,
yeah.
But it's crazy, Jack. We spoke about this season. We kind of both. I didn't write off the Premier League, but the Champions League, I thought, hell no. They are in a Champions League final. Isn't that success as it is?
Oh yeah. But I think, again, it's the conversation that I know you and I have spoken about a number of times with certain teams where, you know, there's a certain level of Tottenham syndrome, right? And what I mean by that is purely from the standpoint of, well, hey, we made it to the final. And it's like, okay, yeah, in isolation, like, good for you. You were the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th favorites, and you made it to the final. So you have overachieved. But the only thing that matters is whose name gets etched into that trophy at the end of the thing. And depending on the club, and if you're Man City, and, you know, James, we know how much that starting 11 cost that Pep's created. You know, apart from Phil Foden, those are all paid for, you know, bought and paid for players. And it's not like, you know, it's not like he's not had the opportunity to do this. Yeah, again, this is Pep Guardiola. This is a guy who I'd say when he hangs up his tie will probably be regarded as the greatest manager of all time. I mean, I'm sure that he's got the lights of, you know, a Trapattoni or a Sir Alex Ferguson or Rinus Michels or any of these guys in his sights to be regarded as the best. But he needs to win more of these things. He can't keep going like, you know, 10 years, 8 years between these things. It needs to be a kind of consistent win-win-win type thing. And I agree with you. Yes, it's an overachievement. I don't think you'd have said City were favourites or top 2. So they have overachieved, but they've got to win the thing for me. They've got to win the thing.
But Sammy, it's just something quick.
Oh, sorry. Sammy, he got a bit unlucky versus Spurs, but why did he bench KDB in the first leg? Hey, I agree. KDB had a masterclass in the second leg, got 3 assists. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure KDB, if I remember, KDB was struggling with injuries. That's why.
But that's
he wasn't fit to play. But
anyway, Jen, like I guess my point is like the team that will be forgiven for losing more is going to be Chelsea. Like if Chelsea lose, you're going to go like, hey, good job.
I feel like to me, Chelsea go into this final again, just like they went into
Nothing
the final
to lose.
in like 2012. Generally, like all the pressure is on Man City to win this one. This is Pep Guardiola's homecoming. This is Man City's homecoming. This to me is 12 years in the make for Man City. This is their holy grail. This is what they wanted. They wanted to dominate football. They are one game away from doing it. And could you imagine if they stumble at the final hurdle?
Well, I mean, I think worst case scenario for Chelsea is going to be losing the Champions League final and not making top 4. Now, I still fully expect them to make top four. I think there's a chance. I mean, I'm just going to get the table up here quick. I think there's even there's a decent chance they finish third actually. So this could be a really good season for Chelsea. Finishing third, not having to do those qualifying rounds for the Champions League, and then winning the actual competition itself would be unreal. Especially if you're trying to attract the likes of an Erling Haaland or somebody like that. Supposedly, that's absolutely massive. But for City, it's like we've talked about in the past with PSG and Bayern. Like, if you just win your league and Liverpool haven't been quite at it, you kind of go, I mean, you did well this year, like, credit, but Man United weren't great. Chelsea weren't great. Leicester weren't great. Like, not enough to compete with you. The actual achievement is, and Juve, I'll throw Juve in there with PSG and Bayern, like, the actual achievement is how you do in Europe, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you just win the league and maybe one domestic cup, is that success for a team like Man City? I'm not so sure. You got to try and win the big one,
Yeah, I told you, but where they were at the start of the season, Jack, I just can't say, oh yeah, that they dominate. No, Jack, they were like, well, I understand it's 5 games. I hate when people look at the table with 5 games gone and be like, oh, they're here. No. Wait till about 20 games,
yes, I agree.
then like you can have a full judgment of like where a team is. But I remember, I think I mentioned it yesterday, Pep Guardiola, the game that changed everything to me, and like Guardiola said it too, was a West Brom game where they drew 0-0. Guardiola went home. He told friends and family that this does not feel like my team anymore. And he went back to the team and brought them back to the basics. He said little things that they used to do before, he just brought it back to them. And you just seen what they did. Because, Jack, it hasn't been anything spectacular at all.
We'll see you later. See you later, Sammy. Good to see you, mate.
Thank you. Thanks, Sammy. Really, really appreciate you, like, commenting. Really, really appreciate it. But, like, this isn't a vintage Man City squad from talent-wise. This isn't, like, don't get it twisted. Like, it's a great, the names are great, but they haven't spent so much money on attacking players in the past few seasons.
No, I mean they've had the luxury of Foden coming through, and obviously Ferran Torres was a relatively cheap option. I think the big kind of elephant in the room is like you've stuck with Aguero and Jesus for how long now? Like you
say stuck with them, they haven't played.
Well, no, yeah, there you go. So they haven't played, and you're watching Kelechi and Nacho absolutely kill it. This final leg of the season, and I think rumors were that there was a 40-50 million buyback which expired last summer, I believe. So you got somebody like that. I'm sure there were plenty of opportunities to sign somebody else coming in. I guess there's an opportunity to get somebody like Harry Kane now, but yeah, you're right. It's not quite the same. I think I will always consider the strike force of Tevez, Aguero, Dzeko, Jovetic, that foursome. I mean, oh my God, like you've got to be kidding me. Like even Stevan Jovetic.
But people must get this in the context. That was amazing, but when you look at what the rest of Europe had,
right,
it's a different type of ballgame.
It is, but still, like looking at it comparatively, it's not the same. But that's one thing I remember. I was chatting with a friend recently, James, and we were talking about how and I think my friend said, well, but this is going to be their best opportunity. If they blow this, they may not get another opportunity. I'm not so sure. I mean, look at their starting 11 and look at their squad and look at what they're going to get. This,
Jack, do you know what it is? I don't think it's even looking at Man City. I think it's looking at every team around them.
Right.
To me, are Barcelona and Real Madrid the teams of yesteryear? No, they're not. The last decade that they gave us was incredible. Bayern, I think they might go through another transition period. Again, they still have such a talented team, and they're going to sign more players. So Bayern is definitely going to compete. But Juventus, are they the same?
No. And in loads of debt. Inter, in loads of debt. I mean, Inter, I think will be serious contenders in Europe next year. But James, their threats are Chelsea with a striker, Manchester United with a right winger and maybe a centre back. They're threats for European competition. Liverpool with Van Dijk back and maybe signing a winger or a striker or whatever. Their threats are closer to home. So this could be the start potentially if Pep can get these guys in the right headspace and play in the right way and playing smart in Europe. This could be the start of a 3-peat or a double in the Champions League for Pep Guardiola's team. I'm not going to rule that out.
again, there's so much to look at in the summer, but man, Chelsea, Man City final.
Is it terrible if I'm rooting for Chelsea? Is that bad?
Do you know what it is? I go into it not really sure who I want to win.
I tell you what it is. It was those images at the end of Mount and Abraham and Hudson-Odoi and Reece James, all these Chelsea lads, so gassed to be in this final. And I look over at Man City and I just see this kid, Phil Foden. I love Phil Foden. I think he's brilliant. But I can't help.
You think he's a bit overrated? I'm not gonna lie. The things the things I'm seeing on social media from Phil Foden, for goodness gracious me, he's a very good player, but they're making him out to be like.
Yeah, no, I'd still take Mason Mount over Phil Foden. Like, let's not get it twisted there. But the point is, I think I'd still love to see these lads from the academy. You know, they never thought they'd be here at this point. Whereas I don't know, for City, I don't know, money wins again, and unfortunately. Money in football, I don't want to get into an ESL topic again, but money in football, that relationship is undeniable.
Listen, who said, I think was a Red Man said, dollar bill, no, money trips all around me, get with the cream, dollar bill, y'all, something right. like something like that. And like, that's what it is. A team that just spends so much money it's always going to compete. But to me, that's always the way football's been.
But James, let's not mess around either. Like, Chelsea weren't like not spending money this past summer either. Like,
they spent 200, like they spent a ridiculous amount. Like, also, can we talk about Kai Havertz quickly? Like, Jack,
dude, the guy, like said, I was tweeting. I sent a reply to Timmy after he tweeted like. It's Kaka. It's German Kaka. Like, I think he's like like in terms of play style and stuff, he's never going to touch Kaka's level. I wouldn't expect, but in terms of play style, in terms of elegance and size and all that kind of stuff, like he's
so silky. Like, even like the goal from Timo Werner. I'm sorry, but the composure. I understand he didn't score, but the composure to chip him with the elegance and like the skill was just ridiculous. And every time I watch him. He never looks like he's chasing the game, and maybe in like maybe at times that could be a detriment to him because when he doesn't, because especially when he's not playing well, and the time when he kind of needs to buckle up and kind of change the game, it looks like a problem. But he always looks calm and composed. He looks like it's nonchalant. It's almost that Mesut Ozil style esque from him. But I think you give him a year or so, Jack.
Well, there's a certain like extra level of athleticism there that somebody like an Ozil doesn't have. That's why I mentioned Kaka, because like I say, it's this effortless running. Like, the only other comparison, I don't mean to just immediately make this about Roma, but Nicolo Zaniolo, that's the only other person that I kind of think of. It's that kind of 6 foot, just over 6 foot range, but you have this elegance and this grace about you, these big long strides and you know, nothing
for me that Patrick Vieira type build where it's just this long-legged
Yaya Toure. How many times did we see Yaya Toure run from box to box in
Yaya Toure was a different sort of level, like midfielder with the long legs. And to me, he fits that category of that. If he can just get himself consistently playing at that level, Jack, Chelsea can have a top player for years to come, because I've seen some really good things. Like, someone asked me, what is he at Chelsea? To me, he's a false nine. I think he's a borderline striker.
He's something they've never had. I think is the really exciting thing. I cannot think of a Chelsea player who's been in the kind of like similar build or style to somebody like Kai Havertz, which Chelsea have had before. I think for me, it's filtering through the embarrassment of riches at Chelsea, which is going to be the big thing. Like, I don't want to see Hudson-Odoi start again. I don't want to see Ziyech start again. I don't want to see these guys in Christian Pulisic's spot, in a Mason Mount spot, a Havertz spot, you know, a Werner. You're hoping he comes good. Like, just let these guys figure it out and then use them as rotation.
But first of all, I feel like you're looking at the Chelsea team. Majority of players picks himself. The hardest part for Tuchel is, to me, pick that front three, because Mason Mount was definitely going to start. Who do you start? Do you go for Timo Werner, who, to me, yes, he's not going to score you goals and he's going to miss a bunch of chances, but he's a huge threat, you know? So he seems like a shoe-in to play. And then who plays next to him? Is it going to be, to me, it's between Pulisic and Mason Mount. And I mean, not Mason Mount, Kai Havertz,
Kai
because you
Havertz,
can
right?
go with a bit of both. I did like the way how when Pulisic came on, you seen that just like dynamism, and that's something that to me is really, really going to trouble Man City. Because if you remember last season at the Bridge, it was for the game clinching game Chelsea versus Man City. That was the game that Liverpool were crowned champions. It was a similar mold to that where Man City penned Chelsea back, side to side. A Man City pattern, but Chelsea on the break, springing with a Christian Pulisic,
dangerous.
It can be a problem.
And then in midfield playing those passes, if you can get a guy free, again, you talk about Timo Werner's value as a threat. Like maybe he's not going to hit you with 20, 30 goals a season or that in terms of assists, but James, let's be honest, if you've got Timo Werner running into a channel, you've got this huge little area which you can pass the ball into, and he will get there, guaranteed.
But the only problem with the Chelsea team is that, Jack, the finishing ability is just zero.
I know.
My goodness. Because if they don't take the chances the way that they had today against Man City, if they don't take them chances, Jack, they're going to get hurt.
If only they had players like, I don't know, Olivier Giroud, who were good at those kinds of finishes.
No, but the problem is that they're going to play on a counter. Have you seen?
I know.
Oliver Giroud play on the counter, but
it blows me away the lack of game time that Giroud has played. But seriously, in kind of reference to your point there, do you call Mino Raiola if you win the Champions League? You go, hey, we won the Champions League and we can pay your guy what he wants. Come play with us.
Jack, it's a shout. It's a shout, but you're going to have to fork out a lot of money. But I also want to bring up this weird thing to you. Eden Hazard, is he going into his change room and throwing everything all over the place because he left Chelsea to get to a Champions League final and to be the best player in the world?
No.
Is he upset?
No, I don't know if you saw any of the images after the game of him seeing some of his Chelsea friends and being happy for him and big smiles and stuff. I tell you what, if Roma are going to get knocked out of the Europa League tomorrow, and I guarantee you there won't be smiling players there. Maybe Chris Smalling will say what's up to Phil Jones, and they'll kind of sweet with these weird English centre backs type thing, but. No proper Romanista type fucking player is gonna actually be happy about that. Eden Hazard has gone to Real Madrid, earned himself a big paycheck, gotten hurt more times than he can count, and I think he's honestly in the headspace of, I'm done. I keep getting hurt. I don't know what the state of the team's going to be, and when the team's good again, he won't be starting football matches. So I think he's checked out from football.
Jack, I feel like you must understand that he still has the Euros to look out for, and this Belgium team, to me, if they go,
he's starting
without a doubt, Jack. If this generation of Belgian players finish without winning an international competition, to me, this will be one of the biggest travesties we've ever seen, because the talent there is ridiculous. You're going to have a Kevin De Bruyne coming off a league and maybe Champions League. You're going to have a Romelu Lukaku coming off a Serie A. A lots of players there who've contributed massively. And then if you can get Eden Hazard back to that level, Jack, I don't think anyone's going to beat them.
But I don't know. I look at him and there were a couple really nice touches. I remember one, he was in his own third, and I think maybe Militao had played a pass to him, and then he had kind of a nice two-touch spin and got fouled by Jorginho, and Jorginho actually got booked for it. And I thought, oh man, that's Hazard. That's the guy I remember. That's what I saw.
Do you not feel like Real Madrid's offense didn't do enough to help him and Benzema? Because look at Benzema. Benzema looked isolated up there.
He did, but I still saw more from Benzema than I did from Hazard. That's all I'd say.
Hazard's coming off the torrid 2 years and hasn't really, let's be honest, he isn't fit. You seen coming to the end of that game, Jack. He just looked dead on his feet. It wasn't the Hazard turning in, changing direction. But
I don't know. All I'm saying is I think if we see performances like we saw today from Hazard in big Belgium competitions, I think they'd be looking like, where's that, Dodi Luca Bacchio, whatever his name is, kid for Hertha Berlin? Why don't we just start him? And like, Dries Mertens is on the other side, and we can go, oh, hey, maybe we got something going here. And then Hazard gets a fire lit under him, comes on for the last 20 minutes, tears it up. I don't know if he's going to be that guy anymore.
I just hope he does, because we know the quality of Eden Hazard. We've seen it for so many years. To me, in the last decade of the Premier League, he's been the best player. But
it's a pleasure to watch him play. It really is. But I haven't seen that guy in a long time, and I'm starting to think he doesn't exist anymore.
Let's hope that he finishes the rest of the season well, Real Madrid, and actually plays. And yeah, just guys, like, we've been talking for nearly an hour now. Yes, guys, it's going to be an all English final, something that me and Jack didn't want, but we are going to have to get. You have to earn your right.
I'll take it. I mean, James, think about it. Maybe the Premier League will get 5 Champions League places soon. That'd be nice.
Listen, the way it's going, like, let's be honest, like every other year, the Premier League just dominating. Like, we've seen La Liga kill for 10 years. Maybe it's the Premier League's chance. Maybe because the Arsenal win a Champions League one of these days, and But guys, we've been chatting for a while right now. Thank you guys for watching. The people who have came on. Let me know. Comment down below, who do you think is going to win? Man City, Chelsea?
Just quickly, I'd like to publicly acknowledge that Jose Mourinho has joined Roma now, and I'm pretty excited. I'll be honest.
Jack is going to do a big reaction video to that too, so definitely stay tuned. We got so many different videos coming out. We have a video coming out on Neymar soon that we're going to do Champions League reaction. And I mean, try to preview to the final. Just stay tuned. And obviously, we got the Euro stuff coming. But, guys, thanks for watching. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you